ARDOT crews are rolling out to treat the roads before the winter weather tomorrow.
And behind the snow, bitter cold. What you need to know to make sure your home is prepared.
Live on 5 News and streaming on 5 Plus, this is a Weather Impact Alert.
Well, thanks for joining us for your 5 News at 4. I'm Alexandra Burnley.
And I'm Darren Bob. We're joined by Chief Meteorologist Scott Covert now. We're just tracking this winter storm that's headed this way. We got round 1 tomorrow. Even bigger are the colder temperatures.
It really is a 1-2 punch. We're now less than 24 hours away from those first flakes flying. Likely tomorrow morning. There have been a lot of updates to the forecast. Let's begin with our weather impact alert. This is going to go into effect at midnight tonight, and I'm going to run it through Thursday. Here's the thing. May have to extend it out into Friday, just given the temperatures that we're looking at. First punch is the winter precipitation. I'll tell you, we're going to see an onset of rain, sleet, and snow tomorrow. Kind of depends on where you're at. It will dictate what type of precipitation you'll get. I'll brief you on that coming up in a moment. Following the last flakes that'll fly really early Wednesday morning, dangerously cold temperatures begin to settle into the area. We're talking some of the coldest we've seen in quite some time. You have a few hours left. You really need to be winterizing your homes. If you've not done so already with pipes, spigots, faucets, things like that already this winter. We've had a couple of cold snaps. You probably have already got things done. You need to do it before tonight. Once those temperatures fall below freezing tonight, we will not be above freezing until Saturday. Dress in layers if you're going to have to be out and about. Look, travel plans, getting a lot of questions about that. You're probably going to want to alter those plans this week. Here's a few of the impacts that we're expecting. A high degree of travel issues, and it's not just the slick spots on the roadways. As the sleet and as the snow's falling tomorrow, we're going to be looking at 20 to 30 mile per hour wind gusts. So not only do you have slick spots, you've now got visibility concerns at the same time. Closures are already coming in, and we're going to expect more and more and more of those tonight into tomorrow. The extreme cold is a big concern for us. Power outages remain somewhat low, but not zero. The latest forecast here, just a few.
Thank you, Scott. The 5 News Weather Impact Team is here to help you get ready for the winter storm. You can text questions to Chief Meteorologist Scott Covert at 479-785-5000. Scott will take the top questions and answer them tonight at 6:30 on 5 Plus. You can learn how to download 5 Plus by scanning the QR code on your screen. It's available for Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV.
We're already getting some school closings for tomorrow. Several districts have called in, including Waldron and Atkins. Shiloh Christian School will be virtual tomorrow. As we have continued to get word from schools, we'll of course update this list on 5newsonline.com.
Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders declares a state of emergency ahead of this winter storm. It helps local, state, and federal leaders quickly deploy resources and supplies during the winter storm. It will remain in effect through next Monday.
Community members throughout the area taking it upon themselves now to help their neighbors stay warm as those really cold temperatures get here.
Absolutely. 5 News reporter Jacob Luthi is in the newsroom, is in Springdale right now. Jacob, you found a temporary shelter that is open this week.
Yeah, Darren, Alexandra, I'm at the Saved by Grace Church right here in Springdale, and I was speaking to Pastor Nate Porter, and he tells me that while reaching out to several churches in the area, this one right here agreed to open their doors 24/7 to help the unhoused in the area stay warm during the bitter cold that we are expecting for the upcoming week. Now, Porter is a pastor at the Ark of NWA Outreach Ministries, and he tells me that the church opened Sunday as a warming shelter and will stay open 24/7 for about a week. Porter says last night was their busiest, with more than 50 people staying in the church. Porter says he sees each person who steps through the doors as family and wants to make sure that they are safe during this winter weather event. Blankets, food, and other necessary supplies are all either donated or paid for by the volunteers.
He's been driving his Jeep. I drive my truck. We pick people up. I mean, it's a lot of time, a lot of work, a lot of effort, definitely a lot of money. And at this point, you know, definitely put all we've had pocket-wise and anything that we've had donated, 100% of it went to this, including our own money.
Now, Porter says that they are accepting donations for food as well as all other essential supplies. He says that you can just drive by to the church and donate. Someone will be here, and all proceeds will go directly to the people that this church serves. But for now, I'm in Springdale, covering news where you live. Jacob Luthi, 5 News.
Thank you, Jacob. Well, here are a few warming centers expected to open for those in need. Seven Hills will have several locations open, including Genesis Church and Jefferson Elementary in Fayetteville. In Fort Smith, Hope Campus and the Salvation Army in the downtown area will also be set up as warming centers. We'll have a list of places to go to stay warm over on our website. You can text the word warm to the number on your screen. We'll text you back with a link with everything you need to know.
New at 4, plumbers say it's important to take extra precautions to keep pipes from bursting this week. They say it's imperative to leave a small drip running from faucets to prevent freezing and open all cabinets to allow heat to circulate around your pipes. If you do believe your water is frozen, it's best to shut it off to prevent further damage. For those of you who live in a house, keep outside spigots covered with a towel. If you don't, freezing air could get into your house through any gaps or cracks on the outside spigots. Plumbers also advise disconnecting any outdoor faucets and hoses. Most importantly, keep your home warm. Brian Baker with Baker Plumbing recommends keeping your thermostat as close to 70 as possible.
Our structures are not built for this cold weather. We're just not used to it. In the last few years, it's been getting colder and colder with a lot longer spells of cold. It is very important to keep your cabinets open to get that heat from inside your house into those cabinets and into those spaces that don't normally get that heat.
Baker says if there is one leak, there are typically multiple leaks, so be sure to take necessary steps to avoid a burst pipe, especially, he says, when repairs can cost anywhere between $200 and $400 per leak.
The Arkansas Department of Transportation is already out treating the roads to get ahead of the winter weather. 5 News reporter Morgan Wrigley shares what ARDOT is doing and what drivers need to know.
ARDOT crews started pre-treating roads over the weekend. They say their goal is to get as much salt brine down as possible before that winter weather arrives. Crews are targeting bridges, overpasses, and even some secondary roads first. The salt brine mix helps prevent ice from bonding to the pavement, but ARDOT says this system will be tricky with freezing rain and sleet and snow on top of that. Dave Parker says once the storm hits, plows will be out in full force, working in 12-hour shifts to clear the roads as quickly as possible. But the biggest challenge, he says, is the temperatures staying so cold for days.
Whatever comes in Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, it's not going away for a couple of days. We won't have that. The last time we had a big snowstorm came in, we got a lot of snow, we were able to plow it away. And then after a day or two, we were back up well above freezing, plenty of sunshine that helped us clear things out as much as plowing did. This is not going to melt anytime soon. So it's a different kind of battle, that's for sure.
That means road conditions could stay dangerous well after the storm moves out. And Dave Parker says that ARDOT will keep treating the roads throughout the week, throughout this entire event, and we'll keep you updated here on 5 News on road conditions as well. In Springdale, covering news where you live, Morgan Wrigley, 5 News.
All right, Morgan, thanks. And of course, we do have you covered around the clock as this winter storm approaches and moves through. Stick with 5 News for all the latest closings and road conditions. We'll also have extended coverage on our 5+ app. You can scan the QR code right there, and we'll show you how to download it to your smart TV.
We continue to follow breaking news out of Toronto. All passengers and crew are accounted for and evacuated after a Delta flight from Minneapolis flipped upside down as it landed. At least 15 patients have been taken to the hospital, but the exact number of injured is still unclear. The FAA says the investigation will be led by the Transportation Safety Board of Canada.
While we prepare for the winter weather here at home, storms already impacting people across the country. As Karen Way reports, 11 people are reported dead in Kentucky after storms pummeled the state over the weekend.
Kentucky rescue crews have already saved at least 1,000 people stranded by floods. Parts of the state were drenched with up to 6 inches of rain.
We had warning that we were going to be flooded. We just didn't know it was going to be this extensive.
Along the Kentucky River, homeowners had a sleepless night.
I went to bed and got up every 2 hours and checked.
So me and my wife, we kind of kept guard for everybody here.
Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear said first responders have worked for days without sleep and implored residents to stay off flooded roads.
It's very important today that we continue to remind folks not to drive through standing water, not to drive around barricades. They are there for a reason.
About 300 roads across the state are flooded, just like this one in Bowling Green. Several structures in this park, like that information sign behind me, are submerged in water. This flood warning has been extended to Tuesday, as Kentucky officials are still in search and recovery mode. Dangerous weather is also coming to Texas, with possibly record-breaking cold by Tuesday.
Some wind chills may be as low as 0 or even -0. After that, going into Wednesday and Thursday, there will be widespread freezing across almost the entire state of Texas.
In Chicago, the driver of this car survived after veering into freezing Lake Michigan. And back in Kentucky, the troubles are far from over. An approaching snowstorm could dump as much as 6 inches. The governor calling this one of the most serious weather events in at least a decade. Karen Hua, CBS News, Bowling Green, Kentucky.